A new CBS News poll shows 59% of Americans support a no-fly zone, though the support drops to 38% when Americans consider that it...
Wow. Why would it not be considered an act of war? It is an act of war. People are so fucking stupid, dude. Why? The only thing that this poll shows me is that Americans have been lied to so consistently, so actively gaslit by the media and the State Department for the specific and express purpose of instituting no-fly zones and then having the public be totally on board with that for so long when we were able to do it to countries like Libya, where, you know, the defensive pact of NATO did do not such a defensive thing, then instituted a no-fly zone.
HasanAbi here, boys, girls, and NBs.
They do not see that this is literally a fucking act of war. Love that 38% are still in support of it, by the way. Love that.
It could be taken as an act of war.
Vladimir Putin and the Russians seem to be saying everything is escalatory, and yet they're escalating.
Guys, this is a HasanAbi trope, but you can find 30 to 40% of Americans that believe in anything, okay, that side with anything. I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. 30 to 40% of Americans side with fucking COVID. 30 to 40% of Americans would side with Godzilla. Okay? It's just the reality. There is always going to be at least 30% and at most 40% of Americans that are polled in any poll that sides with nuclear holocaust, Godzilla, more earthquakes, like whatever kills, whatever does destruction. The majority of Democrats and young people would seek refuge elsewhere rather than stay and fight like young people did in the movie Red Dawn.
Quinnipiac poll asks, what would you do if you were in the same position as Ukrainians are right now? Would you stay and fight or leave the country? More than half of Democrats, 52%, say they would cut and run if America were invaded.
That's so funny. Republicans, 25% would leave the country. 68% of Republicans would stay and fight. Yeah, 68% of Republicans would get fucking murked.
Only 40% say that they would stick it out. This contrasts sharply with the 68% of Republicans who say they would stay to fight for the country. Mark Thiessen.
Well, even more.
The only thing that we learned from this poll is that Democrats just are not fearful of coming across like pussies, whereas Republicans absolutely just straight up lie on polls, okay? That's what I learned from this poll. I don't know about you guys, but Republicans either A, don't understand what they're saying, or B, just have nothing holding them back from just straight lying on a poll.
Disturbing than the partisan dynamic there is the generational dynamic. You're all too young to remember, but in 1984 there was a fantastic movie called Red Dawn. Red Dawn. It was a story of Wolverines, exactly. It was a story of a Soviet invasion of America, and these high school kids, led by Patrick Swayze and Charlie Sheen, form an insurgency.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, but you mean to tell me a nation, a party that gets its information from these people, from this panel, is like capable of fucking defending the country militarily? Get the fuck out of here, dude. They're literally salivating over a movie, okay? That's the problem. These fucking idiots think it's like Red Dawn, a movie that they watched, okay? That's the problem. That's the issue. That's not what war is. And they're fantasizing about like Russia invading like in Red Dawn.
Urgency to beat the Russians. Well, the Wolverines are no more. That poll shows that every generation except Gen X and millennials would stay and fight. 52% of those over 65 would stay and fight. God bless the silent generation and the boomers. 66% of those 50 to 64 would
Wait.
would stay and fight. That poll shows that every generation except Gen X and millennials would stay and fight. 52% of those over 65 would stay and fight. God bless.
52% of those over 65 would stay and fight? The fuck do you mean, dude? That's a great example. First of all, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah, they would do a really good job at fighting, I think. Good luck.
Bless the silent generation and the boomers. 66% of those.
What are they going to do, bro? Are they going to fucking eat tapioca pudding without teeth super hard at the Russian forces in that Red Dawn scenario? What the fuck are they going to do?
50 to 64 would stay and fight. 57% of those 35 to 49 would fight, but only 45% of Gen X and Gen Z and millennials would stay and fight. 48% would flee. So Patrick Swayze's rolling over in his grave.
Just for 1 second, because I know you really drilled down on this more than anybody on the panel today, potentially. Are those people, though, with young children? I'm just trying to get a total demographic view of what the shift is there.
I don't know. It may have something to do with that, though. Most of the people in our military are in that 18 to 34-year-old demographic.
By the way, they made it seem like these young people are pussies or whatever, and like the statistical significance between 48 and 52 is not like.
2 months of giving to this champagne.
That's not that big. Like, what are you doing? That's just like, it's literally probably within the margin of error for that particular poll. Like maybe swings a little bit further. What the fuck? Why are you guys freaking out over this? You trying to make a news story about this?
Graphic. Those are the people we'd actually be counting on. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be the one going to fight. Nobody wants me. Nobody wants someone over 65. It's that generation. But I think it might have something to do with this whole culture of safetyism. We've raised an entire generation of kids to be afraid to go walk outside after dark. So if you're walking outside after dark and there's like the Red Armies outside your door, you might be even more afraid.
Or if you live in some of these big blue-lead cities with the crime burgeoning.
Yes.
Like right now, they told us today that potentially a serial killer is on the loose here in New York.
First of all, the potential serial killer on the loose in New York is probably a Fox News watcher. He's literally murdering homeless people. It's going to... I wouldn't be surprised if it was a fucking cop that's like off duty. You know what I mean? The fuck? What do you mean? You guys advocate for the fucking complete death and destruction of all homeless people regularly. You advocate for a system that churns out more homeless people, more vulnerable people. And then you're going to sit here and be like, oh man, a potential serial killer. These cities are so unsafe, possibly because they're blue.
And possibly with ties with D.C. You got to read about that to even believe it. So we're going to need toughness from our young people. A new queen.
Hey. The video is over now. But if you enjoyed that, why don't you like, comment, and subscribe? And if you want to see more of that, just go, well, YouTube's got it around here somewhere.